What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Blockhash podcast channel. Let's talk crypto. Be sure to also check out our Patreon. We do chart analysis Monday through Friday, just like this, but in way more depth. So go sign up on Patreon. It's a couple cups of coffee a month, and it'd really help us support the podcast. So really appreciate it, guys. And today, so let's talk about Ethereum. I'm, kind of getting over my sickness still. Like, I'm getting to like the finish line here. So bear with me if I sound a little bit nasally, or if I sound muffled for some kind of reason. Anyways, let's take a look at Ethereum. I want to do an update real quick, an analysis on where we're at. So the last time we talked about it on May 2nd, I mentioned that I want to see Ethereum stay within this channel. Now, since May 2nd, which was Tuesday of this week, Ethereum has managed to stay relatively in the middle of this channel. It's actually shown a little bit more strength. You can see the green bars coming in, and very well might have a weekly close, which is what I'm ideally looking for. We can get that weekly close. Maybe we can confirm that we're going to move sideways, or maybe we can start a new uptrend. We did have two red weekly closes before a big break to the upside. Here, similar situation, two weekly closes. Maybe by the end of this week, Monday, May 8th, we'll close in the green. So that's something to keep an eye on, something that I'm watching very closely with Ethereum. It's got an upper bound around 2036, a lower bound around 1789. Again, we need to hold that floor at 1789. And there is a bit of a funnel that seems to be in place still, with the exception of this early March and mid-April pop to the downside and to the upside respectively. There's been a bit of a sideways channel. So I'm just going to like dub this a heartbeat pattern. Like, it moves in this channel and then it like beats, up, down, down, up, whatever, but it's moving in this relative direction. I find that very fascinating. It's been doing that ever since it had its relief rally at the very beginning of the year. I'd say ever since January 20th. So I'm looking for this to continue. If we do, then we can expect to retest this sometime in May, maybe next week, maybe in 2 weeks, middle of May, potentially. We can get back up to the 2000 level, but I mean, this stuff could rip. It could rip very, very quickly, especially now that we can see the RSI starting to turn to the upside slightly. That is a good sign. We crossed over on the RSI on the daily, which is another very good sign. Every time we cross over on the RSI, we get a move. We got one there on February 15th. Crossover on the RSI, got a big move on March 12th. Crossed over on the RSI on March 30th, got a move. Bounced quite a bit, crossed over again on April 10th, and we ran. So here we are crossing over again on the 3rd of May, on Wednesday, when we got the 25 basis point rate hike by the Fed. And we're still solidly above it. And Ethereum's moving in the right direction. So expect by either this weekend or next week to retest this upper bound of this funnel, which will be closer like to 1980, 1990. So getting close to 2000 again. We will likely retest 2000 first. Then we'll go for this upper trend, which is a bit more long-term that we have broken out of, but the big number will be around 2144. So that's what to keep an eye on in regards to Ethereum. We can check a couple more metrics here. While we're at it, let's pull up the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence. MACD, we're seeing a huge decrease in the sell pressure, which is fantastic, which we've had a ton of ever since Shapello launched. We had that initial run up in early April, but we had this massive amount of liquidation, and we're starting to get closer and closer to seeing the MACD cross over, and that is the ultimate sign, if the MACD crosses over, that we're moving in the right direction. So watching this very closely over this weekend and into early next week to see if that happens. But the good news is the pressure is dwindling. It's going down. And we'll see that flip green very, very quickly. We can check a few more things while we're at it. There's another really good indicator that I like that's based off MACD by Chris Moody. This one's very similar, but it's a little tighter and sometimes a bit more accurate if you want to time out buy and sell signals. But yeah, it's showing the same thing as the MACD. Sell volume decreasing, very, very close to crossing over. We get that crossover maybe by tomorrow, potentially, if we keep going in this direction. You know, we flash green and we get some blue buy bars come in here, and maybe we're off to the races. Who knows? So very, very excited to see what Ethereum does. If we look at the macro a bit more, let's bump out to the weekly and just see where we're at. We're fine. We're fine. A lot of people have called for Ethereum to retest some of these lower lows, like the 1700 level, maybe coming back down to this long-term floor around 1500 to 1600. It's possible if we get a big retracement like that. I think we might over the summer, to be completely honest, but on the weekly, we look really good. There's no bearish signs on the weekly. Ethereum is moving in the right direction. It hasn't closed out 2 negative weekly bars since the beginning of the year, which is fantastic. We've had 1, we've had 2, and we've had 2. I expect it to turn green by next week. So come Monday, we should see a change here in the market, especially with Pac West experiencing a stock hit, and there was another bank, First Republic or something like that. I don't know. There's so many banks that start with first. It's hard to keep track of them sometimes. But again, we gotta cruise through 2000. We gotta cruise through the 2100 to 2200 area, and then it's all open from here. You know, we'll run up to 2680 potentially. You know, maybe stock out at 2530, or maybe I don't know. There's some long-term resistance at this area, quite a bit, but we're tapping and we're holding. That's what I like to see. So this green box is crucial for us as we get into the summer. This box, obviously, we could extend it out a lot farther than this. It's just pay attention to the highs and lows. But yeah, as long as we stay in the green box, we're golden. If we break out of the green box, then it's either going to be really bullish or really bearish. So I expect us to break up and out of this green box in the next couple weeks. All right, that's all I got for you guys on Ethereum today. Please like the video. Comment your thoughts down below on Ethereum, on ETH, on staking, on what you're seeing. Let's share all the details that we have on Ethereum, and be sure to subscribe to the channel and support us. If you already are subscribed, really, really appreciate it. Let's keep up the momentum and build this channel up. Make sure to go check us out on Patreon. Again, a couple of cups of coffee a month. You get this analysis in way more depth Monday through Friday. All right, guys. Have a good weekend. Talk to you on Monday. Cheers.